I'd like to welcome you to another 10 at 10 for 10 training and leadership development. And we appreciate all of you that came here to be part of this live. We do this every day at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 days a week. And if you're catching this on a recording, we appreciate you too. And we certainly encourage you to come to our live. It's just a little more fun when you're here live. So today I want to talk to you about standing. Okay, standing. And what I mean by that, when you might think, law, you might think legal, those things might come to mind when you hear the word standing. So what is the standing of pool funding today? And I'll just put it out there in a way that I think you guys will understand. But I want to lay some groundwork so you have so that you understand some context of why things are the way they are. Okay. But let me ask you guys this question. Just because something is legal, does it make it right? Would you guys think that legal and right, they always are 100% go together? What do you guys think about that?
No.
Okay. Hunter says no. Is he the only one that feels that way?
I feel the
No.
same.
Yeah, not at all.
No, I agree.
No.
So just because something is legal doesn't necessarily mean it's right. Okay, I'm glad we came to that same conclusion together. Okay. All right. So let's try to identify that word legal, for example. What does that mean exactly? Well, if you get into the actual true meaning of the word, it basically is, something that's been registered according to, some government, usually it's some government that has some sort of a registration process, and like, are you legally able to drive? Well, how do we know that? Well, if you have a driver's license, you're legally able to drive. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and some things we're going to be fine with. Maybe a whole bunch of you are like, that's fine. I like the idea that you have to be legally able to drive. So I'm not dealing with people that are not, But the funny thing is that you don't know. It's not like they're waving their, driver's license with their, their arm out the window. Hey, I got my driver's license. They're not proving it to anyone, right? And certainly there's people on the road that they don't have a driver's license, but they're on the road anyway. And I guess that's why we have enforcement, because they deal with those people, right? So there you got the idea of legal. Okay, something you got to register. Okay, so can you guys tell me about Bitcoin? How did that get legal? Because Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin headquarters at?
There isn't one.
What? There isn't one? How could that be? I thought the SEC just approved it like an ETF status. Bitcoin doesn't have a headquarters?
No, it does not.
Really? I'm being facetious here. I know, I'm just playing with you, Hunter.
And brace yourself, it doesn't have a CEO either.
There's no CEO of the Bitcoin company? Oh, there is no, there is no company?
No,
Oh,
there
wow.
is not.
Okay. Wow. It's interesting. All right. Well, how'd that happen? What do you guys think would have happened if whoever created Bitcoin say, hey guys, I got this bright idea. I want to create a digital currency. I'm just some dude, or who knows, could be a girl, but kind of doubt it. But if some guy comes up with this idea, of course, you got all kind of rumor, like, it was this group that made Bitcoin or that group, I've even heard that AI created it, Bitcoin, whatever, we have all we can do is speculate a little bit, But technically, what do you think would have happened if Bitcoin started out by saying, okay, let me see, I want to properly get myself registered. Who should I do that with? And they go over here and they get ready. I have this idea and I want to take it. Well, let's take it over to the patent office real quick and let's patent it real quick. And then, okay, let's take it over here and let's you know, you get all the legal structure set up first. And by the way, do you think that's free? To set yourself
Not
up
at all.
all legally, you think that's free to get everything proper, the upfront? You think that's free? No,
Not
it's
at
not.
all.
It's a long ways from free. Okay. Okay, a long ways. But do you think that Bitcoin would have made it past a couple of weeks if it started out that way?
Absolutely
It
not.
would- It would have made it past the first week,
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
and that's if it's lucky.
So let's change the discussion now from the word legal over to the word lawful. Okay. Do you think Bitcoin is lawful? When you hear the word lawful, do you think it fits that category?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just code and anybody can use it, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody can access it if they want to, right?
Right.
It exists, right?
Right.
And the code itself, there's nothing nefarious about the code itself at all, right? The computer code of Bitcoin, right?
That's right.
It's like if I picked up a rock, is there anything nefarious about this rock? Probably not, you know.
Nope.
It's just like that code. But some people have used Bitcoin and created scams on it, and that's different, right? That's not Bitcoin. That's the scammers that's used Bitcoin. Just like scammers can take paper money, like dollars, and they create scams around that too. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and that would be unlawful, right? So the easiest way to kind of figure out if something's lawful or not lawful is like kind of use the do not harm principle, right? So do no harm. So Bitcoin as code, is that hurting anything?
No.
Absolutely not. So that makes it lawful, right? It has the I don't want to say the right, but it exists. Okay, just like a rock exists, Bitcoin exists. And the SEC of the U.S. government on January 10th of this year, they did the ETF approval on Bitcoin, and that just affirms the existence of Bitcoin at the government level. And and there's plenty of legal things involved in that whole ETF. Okay. So, and it was a big win. It was a big win for the idea behind Bitcoin. Okay. Now, let's fast forward to pool funding. Okay. Is pool funding legal? The answer is no. Okay, let me repeat myself. Is pool funding legal? No. Is pool funding illegal? No. What? Can it be both? Can it be both not legal and also not illegal? Yes. Okay. Because it can be lawful. You got to see pool funding as what it is. Pool funding is lawful, and I'm going to cover the dynamics of what makes it lawful. Okay. Now, if two parties come together and have a private arrangement, is that lawful?
Yes.
Like if I want to sell my car, and this other person comes over and wants to buy my car, right? We can do that lawfully, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. The legal part is the licensing of the car. That's separate, right? But we can have a private agreement. We can agree on like how much it's going to cost and all that, right? So that could be true.
Right.
If I want to sell my car for $1, even if it's worth $10,000, I can sell it for $1. There's nothing wrong with me doing that, right? I could do that. It'd be
That's
lawful.
Completely. Yeah.
hey, if the guy's willing to pay me $12,000 for a car that's got a market value of 10,000, I just have to be a really good sales guy, and he's got to have my car, and I won't sell it for less than 12,000, even though the market value is 10,000, and he's willing to pay it privately. We have a private agreement. Anything wrong with that?
Nothing.
Not at all.
It's private. It's lawful. Okay, guys. You don't make everything in the world legal. That'd be stupid, because then every glass of water you drink, was that glass of water legal? You know,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of crazy to keep up with all that, right? There's going to be plenty of things that happen in the private, and you could put pool funding in that category for now. Okay, later on we're going to put a wrapper on it, but right now it's basically a website. It's computer code. It's that switch. Okay. And basically it's a group of people that have come together in some agreement, you know, that our agreement is that we're going to provide access to a switch. You're going to have to pay, you know, you have to buy a little bit of my coin, the PFB coin, $10 a month in order to access that. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't want to, there's no obligation. They can, you know, we're not here to force anybody to do anything, right? So there's no, you know, we're not putting any kind of pressure on people. And we're pretty much upfront with the idea that we don't want people to count on the pool as a way of generating funds. We want people to count on people to make that happen, not the pool. We're pretty much upfront about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this all falls into that private category. Okay, so we are a lawful operation in the sense that, you know, through private agreement, you know, we're here to operate that way, where the idea is, you know, not to do harm. Okay, not to do harm. And if one party agrees to do it, and then someone falls short, it doesn't matter. You know, just because I spend my time, let's say I spend my time with Tim, okay, and I'm the guy that started pool funding, and then Tim, you know, we have this agreement and everything goes well, and then later on, Tim comes to me and says, "I want to quit." You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, is he obligated to me? I mean, I'm going to feel bad that I spent all this time with Tim, and we had an agreement, and now he's breaking the agreement, and all my time got wasted, you know, because I spent time with Tim, but he decides to quit. You know what I'm saying? But it's lawful for him to quit. If he wants to quit, he can quit, right?
Absolutely.
That's it.
And I really don't have any, there's no way for I can go back after him and say, man, we had agreements. He used a lot of my time. There's no way for me to go after him like that, right?
Nope.
So he's
Not at
actually
all.
he's actually free to go, right? So
Right.
see, that's how it works in the private, guys. If you make agreements and you're upfront with what you're doing and you're honest about what you're doing, then there's no harm. People have the freedom to do what they want within those arrangements without any concern at all. And it doesn't have to have some registration, okay? It doesn't have to. It can have. Yes, it can have, but it doesn't have to. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's talk about when we are going to put a wrapper on this, because I do, you know, we're not going to get like huge. We're not going to grow to this gigantic, you know, like the whole world knows about pool funding and not have a wrapper on this thing. Okay. And yeah, it's definitely not going to be a US wrapper. Okay. Is that a bad thing?
No.
No, that's actually a very good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Why would you say that, Hunter?
Well, I live here, so let's just say I can tell from experience that's a very good thing.
Okay. Well, let me tell you why it's a good thing. We all know, out of all the 200 countries in the world, one of the most litigious countries in the entire world is the United States of America, right?
Yeah.
Most
Yes, sir.
most litigious country in the world. Anybody subjecting themselves by registering as an entity of any kind in the US government, okay, they're going to have to be willing to be exposed to that litigious nature of that government. Yes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want pool funding to be exposed to that level of litigiousy?
No.
Never.
No.
I think I just made up a word there.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We are going to go offshore. We're going to find something. Matt is asking what does litigious mean? It means I'm going to sue you, buddy. They sue each other, so they have lawsuits, litigation, litigious. Just to help you out there. We want to avoid lawsuits by not being a U.S. entity when we put a wrapper on this. This will be offshore from the U.S. Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. I have a U.S. passport. I don't live in the U.S., but I certainly am a U.S. citizen. So there's always going to be that little hook there, by the way. There's that, and I'm certainly going to be dealing with that. But as far as setting up, something that's going to be in a jurisdiction that's friendly, first of all, to crypto. It's going to be friendly to crypto. Okay, that's first thing. And then the other thing is something that offers some sort of protection against any kind of assault coming from the U.S. or any other government for that matter, right? Something that will take a stand and say, wait, that's our jurisdiction. Mr. U.S. government, you're stepping into our jurisdiction. Back off. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. And
Right.
there's a lot of options. There's not just one option out there as far as where we're going to go. So I haven't made a firm decision. I have ideas where I think we'll put the wrapper on it, but it will be with a particular country that has some power, that's going to be like, protect us against any kind of unnecessary attack. Okay. And then so it'd be definitely crypto friendly, so a government that doesn't really see cryptocurrency as like something to be for or against, but they could be a neutral about it as far as I'm concerned. And then there's just our whole concept, right? So then we come up with all the bylaws of our concept and put it into like a user agreement on the website. And yeah, we're going to put all that together, once we put the wrapper on it. But it takes money to do that. And I've always believed that whenever you build something, you got to build it so that it stands on its own, because if you take something like a chicken, okay, and you can see that little chick is trying to get out of the egg, you know what I'm saying? And then you start helping it out. You start picking off the eggshells to help the little chick out. You realize that chicken's going to die, right? And all you're doing is trying to help it, right? But you can't do that. It's got to be able to stand on its own. So that chicken has got to break out of its own egg on its own, so it has enough strength to take on the world that it's going to go into. Same thing with pool funding, like other things I've done. They have to stand on their own. They have to be, more or less self-funding themselves along the way. Okay. I mean, honestly, it hasn't been like a really big moneymaker for me personally. Honestly, for the time and energy I put into this, I'm not getting anywhere near my value yet. Okay. But, probably true for the same thing with Jeff Bezos when he was working in his garage all those years, when it came to Amazon, right? He was selling ebooks or selling books out of his garage, putting a lot of time and effort into that. Probably didn't make a lot of money for a little while. It wasn't about him at the beginning. But it turned into this big empire today. Amazon is like a big thing now, So just like that, that's the direction we're going to go. Okay. I do want to put a wrapper on it. It'll be a smart wrapper. Okay. And then we're going to have, put everything, you're going to see lots of changes on the website in regards, once we have the wrapper, then we can use that wrapper with a jurisdiction. And then from that jurisdiction, we can put in, other things, binding agreements and things like that inside of our user, user policy for our website and all that. Okay. But it stands just fine as computer code. It's a switch and it's a pool and everything computer code. And then we add to it with the human part of it, with our trainings and all that, and everything that I do with all the meetings, all the Zoom meetings, and all, all that is just all in the private, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Is there anybody who wants to challenge me on that right now? Feel free.
No, and I would also add that you're the top person in the company, and you make the same amount that we make.
Yeah, it's an even playing field the way I set it up. I mean, since we're 100% decentralized in how the USDT moves around within our community, I don't have any advantage over any of you on how much USDT comes to me.
That's right. It
Right.
just depends on how many people you have below you.
I've got 9 referrals, and so it's based on how those 9 referrals go. Two of
That's
them are
right.
2 of them are sub accounts, so 7 people and 2 sub accounts. That's what I built, and that's how I get paid. And I've been pulling out about $500 a week pretty consistently from that. Okay. But yeah, I'm worth way more than $500 a week, guys.
Yeah.
Try it per hour. That's what I'm really worth. If you want to measure my skill and talents and all that. All right. But I know down the road, this thing will, it'll have dividends for yours truly. I'm not concerned about that. But know this, guys, that what we're doing is good. Okay. It's private. Okay. We will put some sort of a wrapper on it. It's not going to be exposed to unnecessary logistical, litigious or legal risk. We're going to minimize our legal risk as much as it's possible in the world that we live in today. Okay, it's a crazy world right now, but we will minimize that. I'm a pretty smart guy. You guys think I'm smart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Of course.
it ain't my first rodeo, So look, guys,
You're a genius.
I'm telling you, I know I've been around, and I've dealt with government. Okay, dealt with them. I know their operation. And look, even though we'll be in a separate jurisdiction from the U.S. government, we'll be very friendly to every government, including the U.S. We will absolutely be friendly and be willing to talk, but we will definitely have boundaries, like where our jurisdiction begins and theirs ends and all that. We'll definitely have that set up so that we just, in the long run, we feel like we're protecting ourselves against unnecessary, whatever, what I'm saying? But because of the way that we do things, and because we're not trying to, yank crazy money from people, right now we're saying we're presenting a $200 plan. It's like peanuts, man. It really is. So, and the idea is that you can build up the funding from the $200 plan to end up in a $1,000 pool, which would be amazing, right? So all of this is what we get to look forward to. I just want to go on the record that this will go on my channel, and this will be a public video, okay? Because if someone doesn't like the way that I'm talking about our situation, they should not join us. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
All right.
I agree.
Okay, there you go. I want people to be happy with what we're doing, but understand that just because something is legal doesn't make it right, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be protected against some crazy situations. There's plenty of companies that they properly registered themselves, and their initial setup was all legal in the U.S., but then the U.S. government still came in and crushed them. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be the first time, right, that something like that happens. And so, I just want to be smarter than that. And I hope you guys can appreciate that. And if you want to be a part of pool funding, we welcome you to be here. But if you live in a state of fear, and fear, it rules your life, then I don't know, maybe you think the government should command and control everything in your life, and including pool funding, and that just isn't so. No, we're coming from a different place. We're coming from love, and we're about trying to help people. We're trying to find a way to get more money back into the economy. We see a bunch of stuck money in the market. This is a solution. We have a solution to bring that money from the market into the hands of the people, and it's working. It's actually working. And if it can work on a small scale, it can grow from there. And that's where we're going. All right, I want to thank all of you for tuning in to our training today. And I appreciate those of you that were live and your contributions to our live training. And for those tuning in on video, we'll have another one of these shortly. Stay tuned, subscribe, hit that like. Bye for now.